Missouri Valley's homecoming theme focused on the campus being where so many stories and alumni begin, and KMVC News begins with the festivities as its top story. I'm Zaire Harden. Hundreds of Vikings came home for the festivities, including a weekend of sports, banquets, and honors. Stephen Tuck, Ellen Les, and Courtney Jolliffe Mullins earned rewards as the outstanding alumni. Willard Ray Heath, James Booger, Dennis Rohr, Tim and Matt Cobb, and the 1973 football team and coaching staff were inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame. 3 laps around campus, cheering fans flaking the final stretch, seconds clicking away as students race towards the scoreboard, clock making their time. It's the latest version of the long-standing Missouri Valley tradition to kick out the football pep rally. KMVC's Mark Rodriguez reports on the 56th Ed Leslie Torch Run.
In 1958, Ed Leslie and some of his students ran from the opposing team's campus to Moval's campus prior to the homecoming football game. That same year, the football team received a bid to the Tangerine Bowl, so Ed and the students made the 1,285-mile trek to Florida. Missouri Valley senior and first-place finisher Grant Arnett has ran the torch run all 4 years and says Mr. Leslie is a good man.
Yeah, he's awesome. Doesn't really say much, but you can tell he's still in it.
The race involves a starting lap around Greg Mitchell Field, followed by 3 campus laps, finally ending with another lap around the track where the runners are greeted by supporters at the finish line. The runner's biggest obstacle was the hill on the East College Street, but Arnett says that's where he was the strongest.
No, when I hit that hill, that's when I turn it on. I go a little bit faster, but it definitely gets a lot of people, but that's when I lead.
This year's torch run was inclusive for the community, which involved a 50 and 100-yard dash for the children. First place finisher for the women, Marina Mellado, says it's a good thing to see the kids get involved.
I think it was great. I think for kids it is a good thing to see all the athletes, how they work hard and everything.
The torch run is a great way for the community to see all the athletes supporting Missouri Valley College as a whole. Mark Rodriguez, KMVC News.
The torch run also features shorter races for children across the football field to involve families returning for the homecoming rally. Homecoming is for cupcakes. Many programs tried to schedule or request the scheduling of was considered a winnable game so the alumni come home and go home happy. But with an October bye week and the scheduling quirk that has the Vikings without a November home game for Senior Day, Missouri Valley drew number 8 Benedictine for its homecoming game. It was the 73 Ravens in the first quarter when Missouri Valley Oliver Seversky hit Brian Smith for a 22-yard touchdown to give the Vikings a 10-7 lead. Smith had 6 catches for 120 yards. Tied at 10 in the second, Seversky ran it in himself from 11 out, and the Vikings held a 17-10 lead. Benedictine scored 21 consecutive points and led 31-17 midway through the third before Seversky found Hunley Stallings in the back of the end zone to trim the lead to 31-24. But that was as close as Valley could get in the second half. Seversky was just 13 for 30 with 2 scores and a pick. Jeremiah Bryant ran for 76, but the number 8 Ravens reigned on the Vikings' homecoming parade with a 45-24 win. Valley falls to 0-2 in the conference play and 3-5 overall with winless Central Methodist and Marshall on the 29th to wrap up the home schedule for the season. Fans were asked to take a moment in respect of the member of the current Viking football family, currently in the Columbia Hospital. KMVC's Tim Alvaro reports.
Missouri Valley College stands in support of varsity reserve quarterback T.J. Bright. Bright is in a medically induced coma after suffering a heart attack. Campus chaplain Reverend Nick Petrov and Vice President of Student Affairs Heath Morgan hosted a vigil for Bright.
So I want to tell you just a little bit about TJ. And throughout our lives, there's going to be things that happen, and you're going to want the same support.
Man, it's just a sad story, and you never know how everything will play out. And it's always good to show support, no matter who they are. So.
On October 17th, T.J. Bright suffered a heart attack in bed. Bright's roommates performed life-saving efforts before the EMS arrived on campus.
That person, you be out there swimming with that person through the summertime, spend a good time with them. It's just, but it hits you hard because he's your teammate.
Students and faculty surrounded the flagpoles. Teammates, friends, coaches, and mere acquaintances came to support Bright.
Amen. And I only knew of him just small conversations here and there. Just kind of like Heath said, Moval's kind of like a family, and we support one another. Just hope he gets better, and we'll be praying for him.
For 2 minutes, the crowd bowed their heads in silent prayer. Tema Olvera, KMVC News.
Teams also squared off against Benedictine for their homecoming Friday matches with a Heart of America Conference postseason positioning on the line. The men's team could clinch at least the third spot in the conference tournament with a win. And in the 19th minute, Tate Richards puts a rebound past the Benedictine keeper, his first goal of the year, gave Valley a 1-0 lead. Sam Green's penalty kick extended the lead to 2-0. Later, Green's second goal of the game and the fifth of the week after a hat trick against Graceland on the 18th, put the game out of reach. Valley guarantees at least one home game at the worst in the 3 seed in the Hart tournament with the 3-1 lead win. The Vikings wrap up conference play against Park and Culver Stockton. In the women's contest, the Vikings and Ravens were separated by 1 point in the standings. Rena Nikami, first half penalty kick from Missouri Valley up in the tightly played contest. Second half, in the Marta Carrasco free kick bounced off Olivia Berry's head. Ashley Arribas was there for the header and Valley led 2-0. Benedictine pulled to within 1 in the 82-minute, ending a Valley streak of more than 370 minutes without allowing a goal. Valley won 2-1 and can clinch the 2 seed in the Hart tournament. With wins against Park and Culver Stockton, both games are on Grand Metro Field and available on the Viking Sports Network. The Missouri Valley volleyball team was out to sweep the Friday contest with its match against Culver Stockton. The Wildcats on the second best record in the Harts Northern Division and heading into the postseason tournament. But the Vikings gave them fits all night. Lindsay Day had 42 assists and 14 digs. Caroline Santos had 12 kills and 16 digs. Kylie Mears had 17 digs, and every set had the score in the 20s. But it was Culver Stockton winning the 4 sets of 25-22, 25-22, 23-25, and 26-24. Valley drops to 4-10 in the conference play, with games against Eventual and Central Methodist remaining on the schedule. After 15 years as an assistant coach, Pat Giangrosso is now on the head men's wrestling coach for Missouri Valley College. KMVC Pedro Santos reports on the expectation for himself and his team heading into his first season.
The wrestling season will start in a few weeks, and the first challenge for Pat Giangrosso as the new men's head coach will be on November 3rd at the Bruns Athletic Complex. And Giangrosso says he has high expectations for the coming season.
You know, I told the team goal was to be in the top 10. Last year we were 25. I mean, that's a 15 spot jump. That's my goal, and I think we got the right guys to do it.
Giangrosso is well known by the athletes, and senior Joshua Isaac, who is a 2-time All-American, do not hold his words when talking about the new head coach.
It's been great, you know. Coach G, I've known him since I was a senior in high school, so he's been a big guy helping me out with everything, trying to always keep my head on straight, even like when I try to steer off on the wrong path. So he always knows how to put me back in my place and help me humble myself and look for new ideas and how to get better and stuff like that.
Senior Joseph Rice also has something to say.
Coach G has always been the guy that's always been there for everything. He's always trying to do the extra work. He always holds guys accountable. And I think that him being head coach now has already changed the environment in the room. Everyone's got a better mindset and is more excited. And it's really boosted us up this year.
Let's go, get on it! Now, Giangrosso can only wait till November 30 to make his debut. Pedro Santos, KMVC News.
Giangrosso came to Valley as a student in 1998. He graduated in 2003 and became the part-time assistant coach while working on his master's until 2007. For students whose undergrad story at Missouri Valley is ending, but whose fields require additional education, or for those who aren't quite ready for professional life, Missouri Valley's grad school workshop was about creating a plan for what lies beyond commencement. Many students struggle with finding what graduate programs to get into and what to put in their application for graduate school post-graduation. Last week, Missouri Valley hosted a two-day grad workshop for all students who are looking forward into grad school. Professor Allendorfer says about the first day of the workshop.
Well, the first day we're talking about graduate programs, what graduate programs are available, different levels like master's or PhD, and the different ways that different majors can lead into different graduate programs. So if you studied English, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go to graduate school for English. You could go to graduate school for any number of different things, and we're kind of letting students know what options are available.
The second day of the workshop was talking about preparing for graduate school application. Professor Allendorfer also talks about what kind of things you need in the application.
Yeah, so the second day, we're discussing specifically how to get your paperwork together, what things you should think about when you're making something like a purpose statement or a research statement, how to best highlight your skills and abilities and experience, and how to really identify yourself as a good fit for a certain program.
The workshop has given out many advice, and students who went to the workshop feel more comfortable now to apply for a graduate program of their choice. Missouri Valley is hosting writing workshops on the 24th, November 2nd, and November 4th to help students fine-tune their writing skills for resumes, cover letters, and graduate school applications. Also, international students who are juniors and seniors with an eye toward staying in the United States to work after graduation are required to file for OPT, and KMVC's Laura Carroll reports on the Missouri Valley workshop designed to help those students with their postgraduate goals.
The optional practical training, mostly known as OPT, is an opportunity for international students to extend their experience in the United States and start their work path. This temporary employment is directly related to an F1 student's major area of study, which means that students can only apply to jobs related to their major. Senior Natalia Reed from Colombia attended the OPT workshop and is thinking on staying an extra year working after graduation.
I was thinking to do the OPT because, for example, in my country, Colombia, actually the currency is not well already, is being devaluated compared to the dollar, and also because it's a really good opportunity to develop all my major.
Lots of international students during years have applied for the OPT, and some are now working in different places of the United States. Alumni Sheila Garcia from Spain majored in exercise science and business administration and is now working in a big company thanks to the OPT.
This year of OPT, I have gained a lot of experience and I have saved a lot of money.
For more information, contact the International Director Yesenia Farfan. Laura Quero, KMVC News.
Is part of the cluster of business offices located on the second floor of Ferguson Center. Blosser Hall is the off-campus boys' dorm, and every year for the Halloween season, they invite the students who don't live there to peek inside their haunted dorm, if they dare. KMVC Timo Alvera has more on the one spooky night inside Blosser's haunted house.
Missouri Valley College shuttled students from the columns to the Blosser haunted house. There, a line of students formed, eager for a scare.
I don't know. I hope for some jump scares, because they're fun, but we'll see.
The Blosser program partnered with Black Student Union this year to put the haunted house together.
Hey, come to Blosser, come get scared, and after that, come get some candy from the candy man.
BSU tried selling candy bags and hot chocolate to streaming students running out the back end of the haunted house.
So you can get your candy and then get scared and get your hot chocolate on the way out, even better.
The candy bags and hot cocoa were just one of the two fundraisers BSU held Wednesday. Earlier, people got to cream their favorite BSU member with a pie.
And the fundraisers go to BSU.
BSU and the Blosser program worked Monday and Tuesday night to set everything up for Wednesday.
You bound to get scared for sure.
Timo Olvera, KMVC News.
COVID-19 restrictions prevented the Blosser program from hosting the haunted house the last couple of years, making this the first Blosser event since the fall of 2019. As KMVC News reported 2 weeks ago, the annual Trick or Treat celebration on the Marshall Square was about more than just treats. Families lined all the way around the center of town square with their kids dressed in Halloween costumes. And there were the usual businesses and organizations like Wood and Houston Bank and Viking Athletic Goods handing out candy and treats. The MVC Book Club drive earlier this month collected more than 350 books to give out to children. The book club ran out of books just an hour into the event. That's KMVC News for this week. Thanks for watching. I'm Zaire Harden.